For those of you who've been following the development of Starship closely, you already know how Flight 7 and 8 were a huge letdown. When Flight 7 ended in a terrible explosion, many of us hoped SpaceX would identify the cause and come back stronger in the next mission. But instead, Flight 8 introduced even more problems and left the community questioning the progress that once seemed unstoppable. And yet, as always, we keep hoping. Recently, SpaceX revealed that they've addressed every major issue that led to the failures of the last two flights. And now, they're gearing up for Flight 9. But the question is this just another overconfident promise that will end in disaster, or has SpaceX truly fixed the problems for good? In this video, we'll break down the details of the upcoming Flight 9. What's changed, what's still at risk, and whether this mission could finally put Starship back on track. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future updates on Starship and SpaceX's other groundbreaking achievements. Flight 9 of SpaceX's Starship program is almost here, and it could launch as soon as mid-April. Musk recently estimated a 4 to 6 week window after Flight 8, and the FCC has already approved a license for liftoff between April 7th and October 7th. Preparations are now in full swing at Starbase, and every system is being tested, upgraded, and refined to make sure this next flight doesn't just fly, it succeeds. Ship 25 and Booster 9 were a distant memory. Now we're looking at Ship 35 and Booster 16, the next vehicles in line to attempt what could be the most important Starship test yet. Both vehicles have already completed cryogenic proof tests. Booster 16 recently returned from testing and is undergoing final preparations for engine installation and static fire testing. Ship 35 is on a similar timeline. After engine installation, it will go through its own static fire campaign. The final phase will be the wet dress rehearsal, where fueling and countdown procedures are simulated in full. If all systems perform as expected, Flight 9 will be ready. When SpaceX launched the first fully integrated Starship on April 20, 2023, it was clear the goal wasn't success, it was data. That flight only lasted 4 minutes, and the vehicle lost control before stage separation. But the amount learned from that short test led to major upgrades. When Flight 2 launched in November 2023, the improvement was massive. Stage separation worked flawlessly for the first time using the new hot staging ring. The booster completed a flip maneuver, and the upper stage reached space and ignited its engines for a second burn. That was a big leap forward. Then came Flights 3 through 6, and each one pushed the boundaries even more. By the time Flight 6 launched, we saw what many considered Starship's peak performance so far. For the first time, the booster successfully landed on the launch tower's catch arms, Mechazilla, and the upper stage made a controlled re-entry and landed in the targeted ocean zone. It was the cleanest flight profile yet. The aerospace community started believing that full reusability was not just a dream, but a matter of time. This created a wave of excitement around the upcoming Flight 7 and 8. With so much momentum behind Flight 6, it seemed almost guaranteed that the next two missions would reach even greater levels of success. But that's not what happened. Instead of progress, the Starship program hit a surprising wall. Flight 7 revealed new problems. Shortly after separation, the upper stage encountered engine failures, and the mission ended early. Still, it was dismissed by many as a one-off issue. But when Flight 8 experienced nearly identical problems, it was clear something deeper was wrong. Both Flights 7 and 8 suffered upper stage failures caused by fires in the engine section. Analysis suggested that the problem stemmed from harmonic resonance, dangerous vibrations inside the cavity above the engine firewall. These vibrations likely caused structural leaks, which allowed propellant to escape and come into contact with engine exhaust, leading to fire and eventual engine failure. In both cases, the flight had to be terminated early. This was a step backward. After all the progress made through the first 6 flights, it was hard to believe that Starship was once again losing stages to engine problems. It raised questions about whether the newer V2 vehicle design had unintentionally introduced new weaknesses. In addition to the resonance issues, there were complications with hot staging itself. The ring that enables the upper stage to ignite before detaching was putting unexpected back pressure and shock on the upper stage, possibly contributing to the failures. Even the booster separation clamps showed signs of potential failure. On Flight 8, the countdown was delayed due to clamp-related issues. It was clear that SpaceX had to pause and address these problems before moving forward, and that's exactly what they've been doing since the last flight. To prevent the resonance problem, SpaceX is making refinements to the venting system to allow excess pressure to escape faster and more effectively. They've upgraded the nitrogen purge system to act faster in case of leaks, flushing out any propellant that could potentially mix with exhaust gases. On top of that, the engine cooling system is getting more protection to ensure overheating doesn't become an issue again during flight. There's also a strong focus on refining the feedline system. One theory suggests that as the vehicle burns more fuel and the tank levels drop, pressure and flow inconsistencies in the feed lines start to appear, something not detected during pre-flight tests, which often run with full tanks. For Flight 9, SpaceX is expected to run static fire tests with varying fuel levels to catch any hidden issues before launch. The structural resonance problem is also being addressed at the core level. SpaceX has hired new engineers specifically to study and fix harmonic vibration behavior in Starship's internal structure. This shows how seriously they're taking the issue. Meanwhile, Booster 16 is getting upgrades too. Improvements to the hot staging ring aim to reduce the amount of back pressure exerted on the upper stage. The separation clamps are undergoing rigorous inspection to ensure they function perfectly during stage separation. Even the booster engines are being adjusted to reduce stress during reignition, a phase that will be critical once SpaceX starts landing these boosters routinely. Both vehicles, S-35 and B-16, will also go through more thorough wet dress rehearsals. During the previous campaign, SpaceX skipped some of the WDR steps. This time the full sequence is expected to be carried out, testing fueling, pressurization, and countdown systems under flight-like conditions. Meanwhile, SpaceX is also making headlines with another big mission. Two NASA astronauts, Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore, were stuck on the International Space Station for over 9 months. They originally went up on Boeing's Starliner spacecraft in June 2024 for what was supposed to be just an 8-day mission. But Starliner ran into problems after docking, like helium leaks and issues with its thrusters, so it couldn't bring them back. NASA turned to SpaceX for help. On March 14, 2025, SpaceX launched its Crew Dragon capsule as part of the Crew 10 mission. After a few days, Williams and Wilmore boarded the Dragon and left the International Space Station on March 17th. They safely splashed down off the coast of Florida on March 18th, ending their long and unexpected stay in space. This mission once again shows how reliable SpaceX's Dragon capsule is, especially compared to the still-troubled Starliner.